Hi there. Welcome to Greater Works 2.0, where faith is refined and purpose is activated. On the GYFT Podcast, I've begun in this new season, we began with a series entitled The Gift of Trust. Today on Greater Works 2.0, I want to speak from that theme on the subject of the road to joy. In Psalm 126 verse 5, the psalmist says this: "They that sow in tears shall reap in joy." Recently, at my church, my pastor, in giving a sermon, he made a statement that really stuck with me, and it made me think. I began to think about it. He said this. He said, "God's hard road is the only road to his easy yoke." This was very profound in that there is a sacred honesty in our word today out of Psalm 126, verse 5. It doesn't skip the sorrow. It is called out. It's honest about the tears and the pain of life, the sowing, the waiting. And it says obedience isn't glamorous. Surrender isn't easy. Perseverance isn't painless. But one thing they all have in common, and that is that they are all holy. This is the road I believe God is calling us to walk. And not because he delights in our suffering, but because he knows what's on the other side. So the question we may ask ourselves is this: where have I resisted the hard road, forgetting that it is the only path to easy yoke? God never promised us that life would be easy. But he did make this promise, and that is that we would never be alone while traveling on it. Jesus doesn't remove the pain of life, but he joins us in it. For those of you who may have walked with me on our recent journey, our devotional journey, I shared with you of my time of grief when I lost my first wife, Helene, and how I found myself at her gravesite in much pain and darkness. I fell asleep to later be awakened looking at an ant on a blade of grass. Now, this was a small thing, but it spoke volumes. It reminded me that God had my back, and even in the place of sorrow, God was present. Even in the stillness, life was moving on, and even in the grief, grace found a way. That's the easy yoke that God, I believe, is speaking of. Not the absence of pain, but the presence of God. Not the shortcut around suffering, but the shared weight in it. In Matthew chapter 11, verses 28 through 30, Jesus said this. He said, "Come unto me, all ye who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me. For I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burdens are light." The terrain may not change, but the burden does, because he carries it with us. The hard road becomes easy. The sorrow, it becomes seed. And the pain becomes purpose. The easy yoke isn't a detour, but it's a divine companionship. It's that ant on that blade of grass. It's the whisper in the silence. It's the Savior in sorrow. So trust is faithfully sowing in pain. Again, the psalmist says, they who sow in tears. Trust is the decision to keep sowing, to keep serving, to keep believing, even when the soil is soaked with sorrow. Trust says, my tears are not wasted. They're watering something. Trust is endurance in the in-between, between sowing and reaping, in that silent season where nothing seems to be happening. Trust is what holds you steady when the field looks barren. It believes that the pain has purpose, even when the process feels prolonged. Trust is expectation of joy. He says, shall reap with shouts of joy. Trust didn't just endure, it expects joy. It's a poetic posture that says, I may be weeping now, but joy is on the schedule. Trust allows you to rehearse your rejoicing before the harvest arrives. This psalm is a song of return, a declaration that the hard road leads somewhere. The captives will come home. The tears will become harvest. That dream will become a reality. This is the rhythm of redemption. So I want to leave you with this thought. Greater works often emerges from greater wounds. Trust becomes the bridge between sowing season and that shouting season. So what have you sown in tears? Where have you trusted God despite loss? And then how might joy be forming beneath the surface? Think about it. This is Greater Works 2.0, the gift of trust. Keep sowing, keep trusting, and keep walking in purpose. Until next time, God bless you. Take care.